For 50 years, I woke up every day anxious and just angry and lonely and feeling worthless. I felt like I was in a front yard of a big, beautiful house, and there was a picture window, and I was looking inside, and everybody was in there having fun and doing what they do, and I was outside, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get in. There was no way for me to get in. I was living my life with programs I inherited, picked up in childhood in my family home, with expectations that society had placed on me, things I should do, things I shouldn't do, how I should and shouldn't look, and those were misaligned with me. I didn't know that at the time, but I only knew that those things were bumping up with my true self. And to deal with that, I did self-sabotaging behaviors. I use all kinds of toxic ways to obsessive drinking. I ended up in a jail cell. I ended up in a toxic marriage and in a collapsed life. I had a life that from the outside looked solid, but was built on a house of cards. And when one card was pulled out, everything collapsed. And one moment came. And in that moment, I made a different choice. I chose to be the creator of my life, to stop living by programs that I just inherited, and to stop living by societal pressures and expectations. And tonight, if everybody's willing, I would like to take you inside that turning point so that you can see that you also each have the ability to be the creator of your own life and write your own programs. How does that sound? Okay? Okay. Oh, yes. For 50 years, like I mentioned, I was running on those programs, and for the last 3 years, I thought I was doing all the right things. After the collapse, I started to work on my fitness, my mental health, my spiritual. I was reading the books. I was walking the 10,000 steps. I was eating the food. I was making connections. I was ending toxic relationships. I was joining Toastmasters. I was putting myself out there. I was doing it, right? 4 months ago, I took a job, a new job, my first job in Florida. It was a new career, a business-to-business salesperson. I was excited about it. It was hard. It was challenging. I hadn't been in the workforce for a little while, and I was good at it. It was a couple young guys. They were young entrepreneurs. Didn't align with me because I was selling THC, which was a little bit odd, but we worked through it. And I told those guys, I don't know how long I'm going to be there, but we really benefited each other. They benefited from me. I benefited from them. And for a month, it was great. About a month in, I realized that I really wasn't benefiting anymore. It was time for me to move on. They were benefiting from me, but then I fell back onto all my own behavior, old patterns, those patterns that I had picked up, that everybody matters more than I do, that I don't have value, that my needs don't matter, those inherited programs. Didn't know this at the time, right? But I started to feel really anxious. I was having night sweats, I had food noise back. Slowly all those things were coming back into my life, even though for 3 years I had been doing the things, all the things. And then about 2 months in, I said, I can't do this anymore. I don't know why, but this is misaligned. This doesn't fit. I'm not benefiting. They're benefiting for me, but I'm not benefiting, and I can't do that anymore. So I went in and I told both of them, you guys, I'm going to quit, you know? And they said, oh, that's too bad. Why? And I said, got another job. And that was a lie. I lied. I hadn't expected them to say, what's the new job? And then I lied again. And the questions just kept coming, you know, and the lies just kept coming. And so that wasn't aligned with who I was either. And I went into my car and I just was like, who is this? Who am I? I'm 55 years old and here I am again. It was like the jail cell and like the collapse. I'm in a car quitting a job that was never meant to be a long-time job, and I was lying about it. And I drove home and I got home and I got to my kitchen table and I just hit a collapse, like all those other times when I had made all these positive changes and I hit that collapse. I just broke down, sobbing. What the heck am I doing? How am I here again? I've done everything right. And then I thought to myself, I don't care what it costs. I am going to just learn to love myself. Whatever this is, I got to figure it out. And I figured out there was something underneath all of the things I was doing right. It was like a program. All of a sudden I was like, I'm running a program and the program isn't mine. I'm running somebody else's program and I've been running it since as long as I can remember, and it's been running me into the ground. And I took that pen and that piece of paper, which was all I had to hold on in that moment, and I started to write down the programs. Girls don't have value. If you're not thin, you don't matter. Every program, 10 programs, 20 programs, 30 programs, more than 40 programs I wrote down. I don't know how long it took. But when I had them all written down, I asked myself, is there anything else you're running on, Kim, that you don't know? And that was it. So I set the pen down and I went to bed. And the next day I woke up in my pajamas and I got my cup of coffee and I just sat at the table and I went through each one of them, one at a time. With every one I did this. And this is the tools that I'm going to leave you with to help you rewrite your programs. With every one of them, I asked myself, is this true for me? Do I believe that if you don't have a small waist, you don't have any value? No, I don't believe that. It's not true for me. Then the second thing I did was ask myself, how does it feel to live with that program that isn't yours? I felt shameful, I felt sick, I felt tired, I felt exhausted. The third question I asked myself was, where did I pick that up? A coach, my mom. Where did I pick that up? A magazine, an old sitcom, because God knows all the things we were peddled through societal expectations. And then the fourth thing I did was write my own program. That your external appearance doesn't indicate your value at all. That girls can sweat. That girls do play hard. That girls do have value if they're not in a relationship. So they were mine, right? They're unique to me. Those were my 46. And I did that with every single one of them. Till there wasn't one program that I had left that was written that wasn't my own, that I didn't create. And then I set that pen down and I thought, that's a program I can run. Now that's a program I can run and not bump up against. And since that moment, I've done every day the daily practice of reintegrating those, because they don't come easy. The old ones come surfacing up, and when they do, I meet them with the ones that I created. And so I leave you with that. If you feel like any of this resonated with you, you owe it to yourself when you get home to get a pen, to get a piece of paper. And it's hard, it's gonna be hard to identify those, but flush out those programs that you inherited, that society laid on you, and sit with them, see how they feel, if they're true for you, and if they're not, write your own.